needs ale. This whole damn land needs ale. It's inhuman to ask someone to wake up without some ale.
She knows, I knew you were going to say that, so here. And she hands you this flagon of ale. But it's wine.
This is the most disgusting ale I've ever had. It tastes exactly like that piss that you call wine.
And she just kind of winks and goes on.
Carrick will get up, get dressed, get everything set.
Yep, same. After mild stretches and exercises.
I be doing my stretching and exercising as well with a flagon of wine. Ah, much better.
All right. You're all up and wined. And it is the typical morning in this cursed land. The skies are still gray, you can see mist here and there, and it's just still the drab countryside. This is a miserable place. But as you make your way north through town, and you start getting close to the pool, even under the gray skies, the pool shimmers and it sparkles, and near its shore you see this old gazebo that's on the verge of collapse. And there's a wooden statue of this mournful, bare-chested man. The statue's paint is chipped and faded, and it's standing in the gazebo with its arms outstretched, as though waiting to be embraced.
What do you think's up with him?
I'll run up and give it a hug.
Okay, you run up and give the statue a hug, and you're standing there hugging a statue. And while you're hugging it, you notice that it's positioned so its arms are outstretched to the morning. It's pointing east, and I figured everyone else is looking at you weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
They can look, I keep hugging.
Okay.
Is there any signs of life elsewhere?
No, other than the weirdo hugging the statue, you're not seeing any signs of life. And Irina is, she's ignoring the statue in the gazebo, and she's looking at this sparkling, clear water. And she's looking over the edge of into the pool, and she sees this image appear in the sparkling blue waters, and It's a handsome youth of kind and noble visage, and you can see that the sadness that had been in her eyes turns to sudden joy. And Tatyana, she says, I'm sorry, Tatlana, he says, it's been so long. Come, my love, let us be together at last. And you hear Irina gasp, and she puts a hand on her heart, and she says, my beloved Sergei, in life, Sergei,
Sergey.
Sergei, thank you. My beloved Sergei, in life you were a prince and a man of faith. We were to be married long ago. Has this blessed pool called your spirit to me? And she's reaching toward the surface of the water, and you can see this hand of water rises up out of the pool to take hers.
Well,
I
that's a
grab
little
her
unusual.
shoulder and pull her back.
I'm just kind of standing there, rather befuddled and half drunken hangover.
Okay, and Mathis, you go over to grab Irina and pull her back, but unfortunately, you didn't make it in time. And her hand grasps the hand coming up out of the pool, and you see Irina being pulled into the pool, and she's embracing Sergei, and you can see their images beneath the rippling water, and you can tell that they're very much in love, and you can feel the happiness that these two lovers have finally have reconnected, albeit in a strange manner. And you know, a smile comes to your face from, you know, just feeling this happiness, and you watch their images sink deeper into the pool, and eventually they fade back. They fade from view.
Guys, I'm a bit busy hugging here, but I think maybe our mission has changed.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to disappear in water.
And you
Jack,
hear,
are you good at swimming?
you hear this crack of thunder, and the gray sky starts turning dark, and the clouds are swirling around, and they coalesce into this terrible image of Strahd himself. And you hear a deep, dark voice from beyond the mountain cry out, "She is mine." And a terrible crack of thunder starts bouncing off the mountains, and you know, it's just reverberating, and this blue lightning comes out of the sky, and it strikes the pool.
Well, it's a good thing you weren't swimming, Jack.
And
That's probably going to leave a mark.
maybe just a little bit. I've tried out. Have you all seen the Roll for Initiative extension for 5e?
Yeah, I actually I installed. on one of mine on my system. It's really cool.
And for those that haven't seen it, you should have a little window that just popped open asking you to click to make a dexterity check. It allows you to do all your ability saves, acrobatics, all your skills, initiative, death saves. You can select who you want. You can select everybody. You can have it do hidden rolls against DCs if you want. Assign advantages, disadvantages, and modifiers. I'll put a link in chat here in a little bit for it. It is really cool. Okay, let's see. Mathis.
Was too close.
Well, fortunately, no one was in the pool, but as this lightning hits, the shockwave knocks you prone, and the gazebo itself does not withstand the shockwave from the lightning bolt. And it starts collapsing. And eventually, Krezk, you're hugging this statue that's holding up part of a collapsed gazebo.
It could have been worse. It could have fallen on his back with its legs up around his shoulder.
And it's going to take you a round or two to extract yourself from the gazebo.
Okay.
I will get up and go look at the gazebo and see if he needs a hand.
Yeah, he'll probably need assistance getting out.
Alright, I'll just stand there and start clapping.
Is the image of Eilina still in the water?
Okay, this clear water that you were looking at, after the lightning bolt, it's lost its shine. It's no longer sparkling. It's become where it was light colored, blue waters. It's now this darker, blacker type of water.
In other words, it not be looking pure any longer.
Yeah, this is not the same crystal clean source that you were looking at a minute ago. You can tell that the water has definitely changed. And you do not see their images at all. And, in a few places the water is still bubbling from where it took the lightning bolt.
So, whose idea was it to be coming up here to this pool?
Ulrich, you any idea on how to repurify this thing? Bit out of my expertise, I'm afraid to say. I'm really good at fouling pools, but
Well, I'd be thinking the main issue would probably be his Mart the Lesser, considering his sister just entered the pool to hug some type of image and then got blasted by a big lightning.
What is his reaction to this?
Well, let's see. Ismark was right there with Mathis and getting knocked prone. He's he's kind of at a loss for words. He did not expect to see his sister walk into a pool of water and disappear.
Would anyone be happening to want to tell me who that apparition be?
Ismark says, that was Count Strahd. That was the devil himself.
All right, I got that part. The one to be knocking everybody here and there and supposedly the big bad guy devil person in the world. Now, who be the one that your sister be hugging? Because Lord knows I need to get that costume for if she ever come back around again. Oh, and I'm sorry your sister got turned to crispy fritters. Out of character, I know who it was. Nobody else does right now.
Yeah, he wouldn't know, would he?
No. We
no.
won't find. The only way we find out, and once again, this is out of character, is if we find one of the artifacts that we're looking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And, Ismark tells you, I have no idea who that guy was. And, they look over at Mathis, and it's like, Mathis, you had the best view. What did you see?
Well, a young, handsome, strapping man.
Ye be sounding like you enraptured. Once had a cook on a boat that I was once on that liked the young, strapping lad.
Oh, Jack, you wish I went that way.
Sorry, I like a little more hair on me head.
Okay.
So, what shall we do now?
Well, Ismark, he's bewildered. He is upset. He doesn't understand what just happened to his sister. And, he is pretty confident that the abbot would be able to answer a few questions. So he was very adamant about, going on up to the abbey.
Well, I be saying one thing. If the town wasn't up before, I'm sure they're up now. I think every dog in a 400-mile radius be howling at the moment.
Well, might as well get a move on before we get accused of doing something here.
Yes, I got to say, that was really electrifying.
Absolutely. And, even though you just got hit with the shockwave from the lightning bolt, your hair's standing on end, and, your personality is definitely electrified right now.
I feel rather thunderstruck. I can keep going if y'all want.
Well, I'll help Ismark up, and
did we ever get Krezk out from underneath that statue that was trying to hump him?
I got out from underneath it. No thanks to you. I'll remember that later when a giant stone falls on you.
I will try not to be hugging the stone at the time then.
Well, it's perhaps not me best planning, but who would expect a bolt of infernal lightning from the sky after?
I can tell you 100% with certainty that that bolt was not infernal. It was just lightning.
Okay. You make your way over to the switchback road. That it's 10 foot wide and it's hugging the cliff, and the road is covered with loose gravel and chunks of broken rock, and it just switches back and forth a few times as it makes its way up the side of the mountain there. Um, it's very slow going. Sometimes it's even a little treacherous, and the higher up you go, the colder it gets. And when you finally get to the top, you're about 400 feet higher in elevation. And
what does the pool look like from up here?
You can see it, but once again, it has lost all of its sparkle and its light blue color, and it's now. You think the water is still safe to drink, but it just doesn't have that same appearance that it did before.
All right, just to give everybody a sense of 400 feet, remember that 10 feet's a story. So if you're looking at it like a hotel, 400 feet's 400 stories. Well, 40 stories, excuse me.
Yeah, you're definitely high up.
Do we see a lot of action in the morning? People running around?
There are definitely people out in town now, especially since lightning struck the pool. And, no one's saying, hey, those guys were there, but, there were people out in the street in various parts of town that saw lightning hit that area.
Not to mention the one old man that was standing by the pool that actually saw a great half-orc hugging up on trying to get frisky with a statue.
There was someone there.
No, but I will be spreading the rumor.
I like it. You come to this 15-foot high curtain wall, and it joins the two wings of the abbey. And behind its battlements, you see two guards standing at attention. It's hard to make out their features due to the fog, but below them, set into the wall, is a pair of 10-foot tall wooden doors, and you can tell that they're reinforced with bands of steel. And to the right of these doors, mounted on the wall, is a tarnished copper plaque.
And what is on the plaque?
Reading the plaque, you see the Abbey of Saint Markovia is written there, and may her light cure all illness.
I will knock on the front door with my warhammer.
It's not necessarily a knock. That'd be more like a beat.
Potato, potato.
Yeah, that would definitely be a cop knock.
Avon calling.
Avon.
And yeah, you boom, boom, boom. You know, no doubt you knocked loud enough for someone in the abbey to hear you. Looking up top, you're noticing that the guards aren't moving. And,
Are they made of stone?
well, would you like to make a perception check?
Certainly. How's that?
Natty 20.
Very nice.
Even though in 5e rule sets, checks, soft skill checks, stuff like that, do not fall under the 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard to.
Yeah, I know.
20.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
You can still be excited. Mathis, you notice that you're staring through the fog and so forth, and these quote-unquote guards appear to be propped up scarecrows that are wearing chain shirts, and they're holding these rusted spears.
Chain shirts and rusted spears. Okay.
Yep, and you know, they're for illusion.
Ah.
That,
I don't think the guards are real.
Yeah, you're not sensing any threat. And Carrick, as you're knocking on the front door, you realize that these doors are probably unlocked.
Then I keep knocking harder.
Well, I guess it's safe to go in.
Like, I'll grab the warhammer with two hands and start just beating on the door. I imagine that there's strength and force behind him. The door will open.
Give me just a second. Let me give you all a new map. And we'll enter the Abbey. I do wish I'd rescale their images a little bit in these modules.
So I take it we're down near the bottom?
Yeah, I'm putting everyone on the map and...
Just as a reference point, everyone, the bigger gray squares are actually 10 by 10. If you zoom in, you'll notice there's 4 smaller squares inside the big squares.
I was just checking that. And there's Theron. Don't need the green dragon. There's Krezk. And all of y'all would actually be out here. Okay, Krezk, yeah, you would be up higher. As you are knocking, yeah, the door, does start to open from your knocking, not from someone on the other side pulling it.
I get frustrated with the slow progress and give it a full strength kick.
I not be too much of an authority on the thing, but that don't seem too just.
And what happens if the door opens outwards?
Then I
Or
break
what
my leg.
happens if there be a little old lady pulling the door open? Not that I actually care what happens to a little old lady, but still.
Just like testing his justness.
Is it just because ye can?
I ignore them and kick the door open.
Okay. On the map, and Otto comes on the map. And just behind the door, you see these 2 individuals.
What in Neptune's crotch rot be that?
And you all were the ones that were knocking. What do you want?
We're here for the freak show. Looks like we find it.
We've come to see if there's anyone who could help us with the lake down below.
We was told there was a dog-faced boy here. Looks like we were right.
What about the pool? Why are you here?
Our friend was pulled into the pool right before it was struck by the lightning. So hoping someone here would be able to find a way to get her back.
Their demeanor softens. Just a little bit, and so you come to speak with the abbot?
Yes.
And they, you know, what do you think the abbot can do about this? You know, you all look like you're here to start trouble, not seeking help for someone.
Which one of the two said that?
We are gonna say that was Otto.
All right, I'm gonna step forward, swinging the stick, and say, "Here, boy, you take us to the abbot, and I'll give you a nice stick."
Oh,
Does he start running around in circles, chasing his own tail?
that is so mean. Yeah, he's kind of looking at you in a non-friendly manner.
I'm gonna throw the stick past him, see if he goes to chase him.
No, he does, as the stick goes through it, you can see that he's really offended and really upset over that.
Okay, I'm gonna look at him and say, "We are the ones that returned wine to the town. I'm quite sure the abbot would be wanting to see us, as we are people of quite importance. How about ye be taking us there now?" And give me a second, and I will roll my deception attack.
He's like, yes, the abbot would be, wanting some wine. And, why don't you all come into the courtyard? And they kinda step apart some. And, you know, do the hand motion to, gesture you all into the courtyard. And you all can wait in the courtyard while we go fetch the abbot.
Go right along and fetch the abbot, and we be waiting in the courtyard, but we not be leaving you at our backs. And with that, I will step into right here.
Okay, and they zoom out.
I'm gonna have to go mobile in just a couple of minutes. So
Not
the
a
combat
problem.
are you'll have to do the rolling for me.
And they take off and head in the front door of the Abbey, which is there.
Oh, alright.
And as you come through the gate, to the south there, you can see a graveyard. There's stunted pine trees growing out of the rocky earth, and near the foundation of the abbey. And you can see that the windows of the abbey are they're cracked. It's you can see ancient gravestones bursting from a thin layer of snow in the yard, and you can see the low wall that surrounds the graveyard falls away. you have a breathtaking view 400 feet below you. And from there, directly ahead, you can see the abbey itself. Question is, what do you want to do?
I want to take a peek at the graveyard, see what kind of condition it's in. See if there's anything interesting on any of the plaques.
Yeah, I'm gonna start reading headstone.
Okay, you see Brother Martok, Brother Valen, Sister Constance, Sister Lenora. All the gravestones have the names of some long-dead priest or nun. And,
Did you say none or nut?
none.
That's what I heard.
Well, this was wasn't it like a sanatorium as well?
Yeah, it was a hospital for a while. And, what part of the graveyard are you in?
The closest side.
I'm probably far to the back by now. I'm just reading it.
Okay, Jack, as you get further along the back, you see this gravestone, and it's carved with roses, and you can see a 3-inch diameter sun-shaped indentation on the east side. And a ray of golden sunlight breaks through the clouds, and it shines upon the grave, and the fog and the gloom shrink from its brilliance as the sunlight causes the gravestone to crack and crumble. Wait. Never mind. Scratch that. But yes, you have this gravestone carved with roses and bearing a 3-inch indentation for that's sun-shaped. And engraved beneath the indentation is the name Petroma? How?
Petrovna.
Petrovna.
I'll make note of that and see if the abbot be knowing who this Petrovna be in, unless somebody wants to come over here and dig up the grave.
I think it'd be far simpler to simply ask.
Yeah, but not half as much fun.
Well, he can ask the one dog man for his shovel when he comes back.
Why does he need a shovel? He's a dog. He can just sit there and use his front paws.
That's another valid question.
I'll tell him I buried a bone over here and see if he'll come dig it up.
Absolutely.
Tell him I'll use a spell to get rid of his fleas. So Have they come back yet?
Okay. You're still continuing to read the gravestones, and eventually one of the guys comes back, and he's like, the abbot has agreed to see you.
All right.
Well, let's be going on to see the abbot.
Okay, give me a minute now. Unmask some of the map. Okay, they lead you in through the courtyard, and they put you here in this room. I'll give you the descriptions of what you see along the way. Here's his mark. And Krezk. As you enter the abbey's walls, you're in the courtyard, and there's thick fog that's filling the courtyard, and it's swirling around, you know, as if it's eager to escape. And once again, you can see that there are the scarecrow guards every so often on this courtyard wall, and you see wooden doors in the north and east leading to the abbey's two wings. In the center of the courtyard is a stone well that's got an iron winch, and you can see that there's a rope and bucket attached to it. And the entire time that you've been at the Abbey, it's been quiet. But now that you have entered the courtyard, that quiet is shattered by these horrible screams coming from the sheds. And let's see. In these overhangs, right here and right there, you got several stone sheds that are with padlocked wooden doors, and you can see 3 water troughs right here. And there are 2 wooden posts pounded into the rocky earth that have these iron rings bolted to them. And chained to one of the posts is a short humanoid with bat wings and spider mandibles. And yeah, the posts are right there.
That was a very interesting course.
A courtyard of horror, as me be calling it.
And let's see. Oh, no picture, just a bio. And the creature chained to the post is flapping its leathery wings, and you know it takes off into the air, but it doesn't get far before, you know, the chain pulls itself tight. And, you know, she's fluttering about madly and screaming nonsense.
So why do you think some of these half-animal people are able to walk around while others are chained up?
Maybe it be doing something wrong. I don't know. I don't even know where these animals came from. I be not be seeing anything like it in me short.
Yeah, this is shit that you've never seen before.
Something be telling me the abbot not being what the abbot be seeming to be being.
Strangely, that made sense. But they lead you through the door at the east east end of the courtyard, and uh, as you enter, you can hear gentle sounding music trickling down from above, like it was played on a single stringed instrument by some unseen master. And the ground floor is one large 50-foot square room, and it has these arched leaded glass windows, and you can see a cauldron sitting on an iron rack above a fire in the hearth, and above the fireplace there is this golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. And in one corner, a wooden staircase climbs to the upper level, and in another corner, a staircase descends down into the darkness. There's several chairs around a wooden table that stretches nearly the length of the room. There's wooden dishware and gold candelabras arranged neatly on the table. Um, and standing behind each is a young woman with alabaster skin, dressed in a torn and soiled red gown. And her auburn hair is neatly bundled so as it's not touching her soft shoulders. And, you know, she looks like she's lost in her own thoughts. And you can see a... Okay, there we go. You can see a handsome young man in brown monk and wearing a brown monk's robe, and he gently takes the woman by her hand, and um, you can see a painted wooden holy symbol that depicts the sun hangs from a chain around his neck, and he moves with the grace of a saint.
Is that holy symbol roughly the same size as the indentation we saw on the grave? Could you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we heard you.
Sorry, I was muted. um, yes, it is.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
So I be taking it ye be the abbot.
Um, yeah, as you walk in, it's obvious that he's teaching this woman the finer points of etiquette. And As you walk in, yeah, he says, yes, greetings, travelers. I am the abbot.
Greetings.
And he's like, my men tell me that you wish to speak to me about something that happened at the pool.
Ah, yes. Did you not hear the large lightning bolt?
Well, it's thunder is thunder.
But it was just not too far away.
I do be having a few questions. First being, who be this lass standing in front of you? And I'll help you out, Vasilka.
Yes, he introduces, Vasilka, and it's like, she's just something that I have, been working on.
Speaking of working on, strange servants ye be having here.
And, yeah, let's see. The abbot. No, I don't have a picture of, the abbot. Yes, well, there's a history here at the abbot, and, granted, my, servants are a little unique.
So, how long have you been the abbot?
Okay, as you're looking at Vasilka, you can tell that she's not the, she appears to have been made from,
That was why I was examining her.
yeah, from different body parts, and you can tell that they were stitched together with, the utmost precision and trying to be as perfect as can be, but yeah, she's more monstrosity than human looking.
Okay, since you're not physically here, Shadow, I'm gonna have to throw this at. I need you to divine sense.
Okay. I will use my divine sense.
I'm feeling evil. Well, I'm not feeling evil, but I'm feeling like it's evil around here or something.
Feeling unnatural.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got dogmen running around. We've got what can only be described as a flesh golem in front of.
Yep. Agreed. That would definitely set off Carrick concern, and he would divine sense.
Okay,
For the next minute, as an action, he can detect the presence of any strong evil, any strong good, celestial, infernal, or undead, I believe.
Yep, I think that's it.
Yeah, celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. You know the type, celestial, fiend, or undead of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity. Like you would know Strahd
He's a
is a
vampire.
vampire, but you wouldn't know that he's Strahd.
Yep.
Well, yes, your divine sense, you are able to tell that the abbot is a celestial.
Okay. I
That's the only
go over to
difference.
Jack and whisper in his ear. The abbot there is more than he appears, but he ain't no vampire. He comes from the other side, if you know what I mean. And then I wink broadly.
And technically, the chick is a construct and not undead.
You wouldn't pick
Yep,
up what
I
she is.
wouldn't
She's a
pick that up.
construct.
Yep.
But it's pretty straightforward to tell that she's being Frankensteined.
Oh, yes. A nice job, but, you know, you can still see the stitches here and there, and...
Alright, Abbott. It's time we be getting a little serious. I be knowing what ye are. And I find it strange that someone of your, shall we say, divine past would be making these creatures all around you. For what purpose would one such as yourself be meeting with this creation?
Are you trying to be persuasive or intimidating in getting an answer?
I guess I'll try for persuasive. Even though my persuasion sucks.
Okay, the abbot, the abbot goes, you know, I am just like everyone else. I have my regrets, and you know, I regret what happened to the Belleviews and turning them and turning them into the mongrel folk that they have become. And you know, I hate to keep them in prison, but you know, I got to keep a close eye on it in order to contain their madness and not let it infect the village. And you know, they have, you know, in a weird way, I seek their guidance, and you know, they have become semi-trusted advisors over the years.
And why do you
Can you repeat that?
keep demanding wine from the village as tribute?
Because I like wine.
Were you the ones that turned everyone here into part beast?
I believe the part beast would be the Bellevues that he is feeling a little bad about.
Yeah, out of character. The mongrel folk that you are meeting here are all descendants of the Bellevue family.
And why did you turn the Bellevue family?
He doesn't answer, and other than to say, it was necessary at the time. And, you all come to seek my counsel, not to question, or, I'm not here for run-of-the-mill questions. Did you bring me wine, mentioning it?
Why, yes, the wine's down at the bottom of the hill. But first,
No one has.
have you ever heard of?
No one has a bottle of wine.
I have a wineskin of ale that tastes suspiciously like the wine that Arena gave me this morning. So I'll give that over to him.
And he accepts your tribute of this ale, and he's like, it's strange that you found ale in this town.
Well, it's very sweet and very watery for ale.
What were you saying, Mathis?
Have you ever heard of someone being pulled into the pond down below? Morning Glory Shrine.
No, I haven't. You come here to talk about it. And you relay the events of the morning, and then you get to the part of the thunder and lightning and Strahd appearing in the clouds, and the voice booming out into the mountains that she is mine. And he's really interested in that part, and he tells you, not trying to be Captain Obvious here, but you already know that Irina had Strahd's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And with his voice yelling out that she is mine, apparently Irina has been taken from within Strahd's reach. And most likely, he is going to hold you responsible for the loss of Irina.
Well, isn't this just our lucky day?
He goes, as a matter of fact, it may be. You all can be some of assistance to me, and I can maybe help you while you're helping me. And
yeah.
He turns around and he points to his lovely female companion. And he goes, I have created this beauty to become a bride of Strahd.
Okay.
And
a servant of the morning, making a bride out of flesh for a vampire lord.
Um,
I not be seeing how this flesh monstrosity could possibly be helping us in surviving the wrath of Lord Strahd.
But we do interrupt. Please pardon the rudeness. Tell us what it is that you have in mind. Give us.
yes, he's really hoping that give me just a second. Yes, he's hoping that, you know, giving Strahd a bride will help, you know, lessen Strahd's grip on the area, make things not so much miserable, and you're not quite sure that you think it'll work.
So how would it be helping you be helping us?
Well, in order to present her, yeah, once I get her to learn how to dance, that is, to Strahd himself, I need a wedding dress.
Okay.
And where would we be obtaining such a dress?
Well, you know, there's I can't leave the Abbey, and you know, there's I need the proper bridal dress, and if you all could search the town and find me the perfect dress, you know, I'll help you out with my magic. And, you know, I will, you know, I can raise you from the dead if should something happen in this accursed land. Or, you know, I can even give you the benefit of my healing touch.
Well, can we borrow your holy symbol for about 50 minutes before we undertake this journey?
He looks a little shocked, and um, why do you want my holy symbol? You're not a believer.
Well, that shows what you know. I am a. Just perhaps not in the morning.
I would like to know, Abbot, what you been knowing about some of the areas around Krezk. Namely, we need to be going to a town by the name of Baraz, I think the name of it be. We are being sent there by another lady on a request. And not knowing what be in that town, I was wondering if maybe you knew what we would be coming up against.
Okay.
If he knows anything, I don't know if he does or not.
Unfortunately, I can't be of much help of Perez, as, you know, I pretty much have not left the Abbey since I come to the Abbey, you know. Occasionally I will stroll down to the shrine of the Morning Lord, but that is as far as my travels go. But, yeah,
Okay, so where are we supposed to get this dress?
um, to find the dress, really, you would have to ask around in town. Do a search, the seamstress shops. Um, he he doesn't trust the mongrel folk to find one.
Maybe we can be asking the Burgomeister or his wife. Maybe they know where we can find it, or at least point us in the right direction.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get out and play detective.
Right, so can we borrow that holy symbol? We won't do anything untoward with it. As a man of faith, I give you my word. It was a matter of curiosity that I have. It will not damage or destroy it in any way.
He's thinking about that, and do you really mean to do that, Jack?
No, I did not. Sorry, I was setting my headset down for.
Interesting way, yeah. Well, how about you think about it and we get a look at it after we return?
Yeah, the holy symbol is something very personal, and
Oh, trust me, I know. And I pat on where my holy symbol on the front of it.
and Carrick, I'm gonna say that you study his holy symbol extremely well while you're talking to him. You're memorizing all the fine details and taking mental measurements and so forth, just in case you need to compare
Yep.
it with the one on the
Tombstone or the
tombstone itself. And the abbot goes, "Will you please find me a wedding dress, and I will raise you from the dead, up to 3 party members, or provide healing for you on 3 separate occasions."
Well, we don't plan on dying. Like I said, very curious about the holy symbol. But also, if it will help the town, we will aid you against Strahd.
Yes, that is my ultimate goal, is to, you know, make Strahd happy, so, things can possibly improve for the lives of everyone in this realm. And he snaps his fingers, and one of the mongrel men appear and It's like they'll escort you to the gate. Anything
Alright.
else you want to ask while you're being shown the door?
I saw several of them outside being chained up. You mentioned madness. What would cause this madness?
The madness, unfortunately, the madness that inflicted the Bellevues was present before the incident, which resulted in them being turned into the mongrel folks. However, the transformation did increase the severity of the madness. And, you know, I've got to keep the majority of them locked up because they're just too crazy to run on their own.
Alright.
Well, thank you for your time, Abbott. We shall find the stress for you if we can. It's always a bonus to be able to be raised from the dead if something bad happens, eh?
Dying is quite common around here. You know, death is a way of life. And out of character, the mongrel folks are, their madness is from the indefinite madness table.
Right.
So, yeah, they have all forms from schizophrenia, delusions, all the way up.
All right, well, if that's it, let's get down to the Burgomaster. We can regroup and figure out exactly what all we need to be done.
Yeah, and as you're being escorted and walking through the outer courtyard on the way to the gate, Krezk, you manage to slip away for just a minute, and you run over to the tombstone, and you're examining that sun-shaped thing, and the abbot's holy symbol is a match. However, it is of a different size than the indentation. So, you know, it's not the abbots that you're looking for. And you manage to sneak back and rejoin the group, and the mongrel man is no wiser.
So it's not the holy symbol we be looking for.
Correct.
All right, so they escort us out, and we end up back at the inn. We need to go over exactly where our priorities lie. We've got a few things ahead of us. We've got the Taraka cards readings that has stuff that says we need to do. We still need to return to the Wizards of Wine because they have something they'd like us to do. This guy wants us to track down a dress. Ismark's probably beside himself in grief. The chick is gone. And Strahd basically wants to suck us all dry.
That sounds about right.
Did I miss anything? Alright, well, first, let's go over to Turok card. First reading had to do with the enchanter. Tells of history, knowledge of an ancient that will help you better understand your enemy. I see a kneeling woman, a rose of great beauty, plucked too soon. The master of the marsh knows whom I speak. We know the marsh is in Berez. Berez we also know is out near the Wizards of Wine. Alright, number 2. This card tells of a powerful force of good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. Find the Mad Dog's crypt. We have no idea where the crypt is right now. 3, card of power and strength, tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. Go to the place of dizzying heights where the stone itself is alive. We also don't know where that is yet. 4, this card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against the darkness. I see a man of faith whose sanity hangs by a thread. He has lost someone close to him. I personally believe that this is the priest whose son had been turned to a vampire.
Donovich.
Yeah, that's it, Donovich. And then the last one, your enemy is a creature of darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. He lurks in the one place to which you must return, a place of death. My guess is, just reading it how it reads, we'll meet him at his coffin. His tomb. We know we got to go to Berez. I'm quite sure we got to pick up Donovich at some point.
Well, hopefully we can find dress here.
Maybe, but I never think things out simply. But we can start looking for the dress here, and if it leads us someplace else, I mean, there's only, so far as we can tell, 2 other towns in this area. So I mean, it's going to lead us to one or the other if we have to leave this town. So we can stir our way back then if that's the needs, and pick up Donovich as well if we can persuade him to come with it,
Yes.
get him to come with us.
So, which are we doing first? Starting with the dress and then Berez?
I say we talk to the burgomaster and his wife and see if they would know a good dressmaker.
Okay, yeah, Dimitri is, okay, yeah, Dimitri is, you know, glad to see you, especially since he's had a few glasses of wine. And you know, you tell him about your situation, and you know, his wife comes in. And you know, you relay the story to her as well. And, she points out that she has this beautiful white bridal gown. And, she is, she's willing to give it up. Dmitri, on the other hand, will not allow it. And, the thought of a monstrosity wearing his wife's wedding dress to be married to Strahd is just more than he's willing to do.
Don't think of it that way. Think of it as a dress to keep Strahd away.
I be thinking that is an unjust way of thinking, don't you, Krezk? Elbowing Krezk in the side.
Now, she does talk about, that there's no one in Krezk who could make such a dress. However, there are people in Vallaki that could do it. And, she's willing to, lead an expedition to find you all a wedding dress.
Well, we need to be taking wine back to Vallaki anyway, so we could probably escort you there.
And yeah, her husband is he really doesn't like the idea, but she's like, "No, honey, I'm not going to go alone." And he assigns her 2 guards, and there's 4 other people that she knows that's going with us. She's drug a couple of her society friends in, and, hey, a wedding's a wedding, and if it helps Krezk get underneath Strahd, she's willing to help, and so are her friends. And so you've got her and her 4 friends, and you've got the 2 guards, and he loads up a winery, or he loads up a wagon and so forth, and you're all witness to this. And he asked if you all would be interested in tagging along as guards. You don't have to. You got your own mission if you want.
I thinking we can be doing that. We need to go back in that direction anyway.
We could head to the winery and get our shipment while you guys prepare.
And let's see. Yeah, because you go almost to Vallaki on your way to Berez.
Well, I was thinking going back and seeing if we can get the old priest.
The old priest?
Yeah, the crazy one. The one from the card. Donovan.
Yeah, Donovich is in Barovia.
Yeah, but we'll have to go through Valaki to get to Barovia.
Yep.
Besides, this party could use a little more crazy.
Yes, it could. Okay.
So are we gonna
So
wait
you're
for everyone to prepare, or are we gonna grab the wine shipment and meet them at the gates?
I'll grab the wine shipment and meet him at the gate.
All right.
okay. So we are leaving Krezk, providing an escort, picking up the wine on the way, and going to Valaki,
Yes.
and then to Barovia.
And then back to the Wizards of Wine, or then back to Valaki. We'll pick them up at Valaki with the dress. We'll head back to Krezk, drop off the dress, and then we're going to head to the...
Okay. And to Krezk. That's a roundabout trip. Okay, being short, and I was gonna cut it short anyway. One, but since we're two people out, let's pick up next week.
Sounds good to me, buddy.
All right.
Make sure that we are. Next week is the 7th, and yes, we are playing. Yay!
Yeah, we're good next week.
Cool beans. And you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
All right. See you.
Thanks, Winter. See everybody next week.